It is 6:05. This is the regular monthly meeting of the Raynham Sewer Commission. All members being present. Okay. The first item is approval of minutes. For the meeting dated October 10th. 11th rather.
Move approval.
It's moved by Mr. Roster.
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Bissell. I do have a comment. Bottom of the page, Madam Secretary. New business, review letter from Michael King for Betterment Reserve and vote to approve the fund. The commission received correspondence from Mr. King, town accountant. He is the treasurer tax collector, not the town accountant.
Okay, treasurer.
Okay, that's the only thing I saw in there. His title, he did, the letter did come from him pertaining to something that he and the town accountant had been working on. But other than that, the motion just to clarify Mr. King's title from town accountant to town treasurer tax collector.
Okay.
We're gonna correct his title. Can you correct my last name? It's not Bissell.
Bissell? It's Pickle.
With a B, with a B.
Right. Mr. Pickle.
Thank you, thank you.
I have fun with that.
I know you do.
Sorry,
You
but
love
I
my
have
name.
fun with that. There being any other corrections? None? Okay, all in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye, aye.
Aye, 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 aye. It is a vote. Any correspondence, Mr. Superintendent? None. Superintendent's report.
Alrighty. Phase 7, contract 1, CJP completed testing of manholes on Lounsbury and Hewitt Drive. There are still 15 service laterals that still need to be completed. Albany's Drive testing has been completed, including the low-pressure sewer service. Tuesday, King Philip Street detour with the weather was postponed, so they moved that to Wednesday. That went well. The Y section was cut into the existing sewer main on King Philip Street, and the work has now proceeded up Irish Drive. CJP plans to finish out that construction season on Irish Drive, and they'll bounce back and forth when they have time to do the remaining services also. Weather permitting, they plan on working until December 15th, but right now they ain't looking too good.
Yeah.
Plans for the Route 138 sewer extension have been submitted to Mass DOT. Diane Bond is waiting back to hear of it with any comments. Next progress meeting for Phase 7, Contract 1, was scheduled for November 28th, 10 a.m. Phase 7, Contract 2, Diane Bond is looking into the possibility of running the Mill Street sewer extension over to King Philip Street pump station versus Mill Street pump station. Reason being is the culvert by the Mill Street pump station, the Pine Swamp Brook culvert. We were hoping that possibly Ed Buckley from the Highway Department would have that done, and we would have a pipe to connect to, but that doesn't look like that's going to happen. So we might be able to route it the other way. Only downfall is we may have 1 or 2 low pressure sewer services down by this Pine Swamp Brook area, which would be is that Williams out in the back? If they get a house way out in the back. Yeah, which they would need a pump anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, they would need a pump anyways. So I guess that wouldn't be too bad anyways. Taunton Riverbank scour. I think we discussed a little bit of that last meeting. But, I've asked Time Bond to give us a proposal for working on a resolution to this project. I mentioned to Dan Holmes that this is something of importance in order to avoid a crisis in that location. They're actually going to send their survey crew out one more time to take a look at that manhole, that little area there, because I still think it's moving. So, with all this rain we had, so they're going to take another look at it again. AECON with National Water Main. The Phase 3 inspection results revealed 2 areas that may need some attention. One is located on Barber Road in Pleasantfield. which would require a short liner. If you're familiar with a short liner, it's I think you saw it, Joe, where it looks like a sock, they pull it into the sewer main, they blow it up and they line it with, it's basically fiberglass, it's a kind of a fiberglass shield. Now a short line is just a small section, could be 5 to 7 feet long. The other section is on Warren Street West at the stream crossing. Over by Rachel Drive, we got a main that crosses there. And this one might require a manhole to manhole liner, which would be probably a lot more money. They're gonna give us an evaluation on that, they're still analyzing it, and they'll give us a price. Also, I discussed with AECom on how we may be able to inspect the condition of the Route 44 sewer force main. The force main is 40+ years old, and we should do some sort of inspection on it. They're working with National Water Main on how to proceed with this inspection. Originally, we were told that they have a sonar type device that they could put in the force main and send it down, and it would scan as it goes and tell you the thickness of the force main and ductile iron, and it would tell you if there's any thin spots in it. But they've come to determine that technology won't work there. So the only real option we got is maybe to go out with a back of the truck, do a couple of test pits to locate the force main and see the condition of it. Again, you're only stabbing at it here and there, so if you do have a problem, hopefully find it, but at least to give you an indication of the condition of the pipe. Earth Source Plus on this one, they did do their 5th payment today, $50,614.60. The balance owed with accruing interest is around $57,917. So they have one more payment of the $50,000, but then they're going to owe accruing interest.
Do they know the amount of the accrued interest?
They do not, no.
It would be nice to give them a call.
Yeah, okay.
And tell them that this would be what they'd have to pay on the
Yeah.
15th of December to be paid in full.
Well, that accruing interest is accruing daily, so we won't have a total until, well, actually, you just start with your forecast up, so okay, this is what you're gonna owe until you, yeah. I'll get Mike King forecast that.
You could check with Michael, and
Yeah.
Michael could tell you what it would be if he paid on the
Yeah,
15th.
Yeah.
And you can say, if you pay on the 15th, this is the amount you pay, and you'll be paid in full.
Paid in full, right. Paramount Drive Pump Station, the suction lines have been piped into the wet well. They're not completed, they're into the wet well. The site has been prepped for footings. The contractor is waiting for a response from Gordon Rupp as to the layout of the pump skid and the suction lines coming into the building before they can really finish up there and put footings in the floor and stuff. But so that's kind of a waiting game right now. I've also requested of the contractor if he could give us a price on changing the 4-foot round riser section and manhole cover to access that wet well. Typically on most of our other, actually all of them except one other one, we have hatches. When you open them up, they're a 4-foot hatch, and you get great access to get into it. One of the problems with this upgrade is where the suction lines are. The new ones where they're installed, they're kind of in that opening where where the manhole is. So if we put this hatch, it'll give us a little better access to do the cleaning. So they're gonna draw up a proposal for us. Hopefully we can afford to do it.
So basically, he's gonna talk about the top ring and the actual mechanical aspect of it.
Yeah, it's, right now it's a 4-foot circular riser, and it's probably maybe 7 feet tall now. So they have to take that off and put another 7-foot section square, probably gonna go 6 by 6. The hatch would probably be 5 by 5 and maybe 5.5 by 5.5.
Just give you enough room to get in and out of there without
Right.
too much difficulty.
Right,
Yeah.
so, I mean, now's the time to do it, they got it exposed.
Right.
Actually, what I would like to have done, but they're saying it'd be very difficult because they don't know who did the structure, was we got enough room there to add probably another 6 foot of wet well on top of that, which would give you, because it's like a 6-foot riser on that manhole access. So if we put another section on the wet well itself, it'll give us a lot of storage there. But they said it'd be very difficult to do.
Why?
Because they don't know who did the, I mean, that station was done about 30 some odd years ago. We don't know who did the actual wet well, who did the structure itself, what company, and I guess they all have different, Joe, you might be able to understand, different patterns on how they fit together, so.
Well, I mean, if it was checked into, you might be able to get the answer to that.
Yeah.
It'd be worth
We'll
the
look into
effort
it, yep.
to check in and see if we can.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're there, let's fix it
right, yep.
and give it more capacity.
Mhm.
make it more convenient for you.
It wouldn't be operating capacity, in other words, it wouldn't be the operating range of the pumps. But
No.
what it would be a reserve. If the pumps went down, you're gonna have more
Time.
storage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it really is an operating range, it's just
You
storage.
won't let us take a pipe to run to daylight.
No.
There's no overflow.
Right, yep. Paddock Road Pump Station, the binder coat was put down in that cul-de-sac area in our driveway and walkway for the station. And they're hoping to do the top coat on Saturday, weather permitting. Vehicle inspections, the department vehicles will be getting inspected on November 28th. And our mechanic, Sean Hayden's been pretty busy the last month, fixing them up to get them to pass. And so we should be good to go with it. As a matter of fact, we did get our truck back that was in the accident. We came back a week or two ago. Sean actually had to do some more work to that. He thought it had bad ball joints. And so he went to put a ball joint in. It ended up being the front spindle that the ball joint goes into. And that got bent in the accident. So they had to put another submittal into the insurance company.
Just send added insurance claim.
Yes, added insurance claim, yep. Town meeting, as you may know, will be on Monday, November 19th at 7 PM over at the middle school. And that wraps it up.
Okay. Any questions, comments for the superintendent?
Yeah?
I was out at the installation up on Lawnsbury and Hewitt. They seem to do very well.
They do, yeah.
And I was up at High Drive this afternoon. Their misfortune, the soil is so sugar. The 8-foot wide trench is 14. And the banks just keep coming in. And I jokingly said to the police officer who was sitting there, I says, you know what, the rate it's going. I says, the highway department won't have to come back, go wall to wall with the figure.
Yeah.
I says, the wall, they dig it and you're down 12, 14 feet and the sand comes in and the next thing you know, you got 2.5 feet of blacktop with nothing underneath it on either side, and you move it, you shuffle, and down it goes, and the trench keeps getting wider. Easy installation, no water, no stone, but no end to the walls.
Sometimes clay's a good thing.
Yes, but I mean, they're doing a good job. In my opinion, they've done a very good job along the line. And there's 3 brothers that run it. I know 2 of them, and they're on the job all the time.
When is Hewitt and Lonsberry gonna be able to tie in officially?
When we accept the sewer.
Alright, so everybody's gotta do it in one fell swoop when we accept the whole thing?
Well, as soon as we accept it, they know that they can hook up, and there'll be a hookup fee, and the betterment won't come out until probably next February. Not February 19, but the following one, because they need the way I understand it, we need to give them a release for betterment to the assessors by October to make the bill.
Yep.
So we missed the deadline, obviously, so that's why.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, by the time they come to do that assessment, they're gonna assess all of 7. Because this is being done, High Ridge will be done, there'll be a piece to do on Broadway, which won't happen till next spring, and they'll be doing Park Place, and Park Place is, well, most of it's in their backyard, it's not the street. But the time length is the building of the pump station, the schedule of getting on the manufacturer's list as to when he can do the pumps that are necessary and the controls. And that's like a 3-month, 4-month waiting period. But that's already been started.
Submittals, yes.
Yeah, so, you know, so if they don't get into till the spring, they'll be finished. We don't have to wait for a year of settlement to pave, because we're in the backyard, all you do is want to plant grass.
Yeah.
And that should all be released, everything, and two also should all be released by October of next year. So the whole, this contract 7, 1, and 2 should all go to betterment the following year. And some of them can hook up before then, they just won't have the betterment charge.
Okay.
It's one of the advantages that we had when we put this package together, that there was a lot of pockets that were just all gravity. That's the easy part, but it's always the weather that holds us up. Okay. New business. Set the commission meeting schedule for 2019. You know, basically, it's always been the second Thursday of the month. And it's always been 6 o'clock. And one of the things I was going to ask my fellow commissioners, is Thursday the best night for you? And is 6 o'clock the most convenient time? We, at one point, when Gordon was on the commission, he had to fight traffic coming home from work, and he made it 98% of the time without any difficulty, but the traffic out there. And I always wondered whether or not that's convenient for everybody, okay? Where you're not gonna run home, have supper, then come, you know, that type of thing. So if 6 is fine, it's fine with me. I've got no place to go.
6 is fine.
And
Monday would be my best day.
Monday?
Monday would be the best for me, but don't hold it up because of me.
Well, being retarded as I am, I can come anytime, you know?
Perfect.
The only problem with Monday is in the fall is football, you know?
If you spoke quicker, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, well, we can meet on Saturdays, but there's college football on that. You can't meet on Sundays, and Thursday night there's a football. You know,
Exactly
so-
my point.
Yeah, okay. So you got a game tonight that you want to get to, so we're gonna get to a game. I don't know if we really need to vote on the second Thursday, just make it the second Thursday. And I know you want to give a list to everybody so that some people can remember that it's today or it's last week or the week before or whatever. So just go down the line and take the second Thursday of the month, all of 2019, and that we'll just confirm next month.
Mhm.
Makes it easier. And for those people out there who are watching this at 4:30 in the morning, occasionally we shift if there is a need to be shifted, either because one of the commissioners has a conflict or we just all don't want to show up on that particular night. Okay. Discuss proposal for ACOM for Deer Hollow study. What is ACOM gonna do for us in Deer Hollow?
They're proposing to hire a company to go door to door, 56 homes, make 3 attempts to get in. If nobody's home, they'll go back two more times, at different times of the day. And, I don't know if did they give you my copy too? No, okay.
Sorry.
So they'll do an analysis, survey if there's sump pumps, where they're going, floor drain locations, external survey, downspout locations, driveway drain locations, area drain locations. They do not guarantee getting access into the house. So, I mean, I don't know how successful they'll be getting access to somebody's house if somebody's knocking on the door to take a look at this. The proposal is for $18,500 for this task. They would provide us with a review analysis with data, 4 copies, summarizing the findings of the recommendations.
All right. Where specifically?
Deer Hall.
The whole
subdivision.
thing?
Yes, 56 homes.
Are they gonna also do, no, I mean, I gotta back up. I gotta be sure I'm not thinking of a different one. This is located off of
Judson Street.
Judson.
Yep, on Judson Street. Yeah, halfway down on the left-hand side. You know where Camilla was? Down off of Judson?
There's that one modern continental.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go down Judson Street, we got the what we call the can station. If you're coming from Orchard Street, we got the can station, the one that's no building, it's just a round circle. You go beyond that, and there's a subdivision up on the left.
Yeah,
To that island.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
okay. And is after Deer Hollow, Locust Street?
Yes.
Ways down the road.
Yeah, but I mean, then if you were going down
Yeah,
Deer Hollow, then the next left is Locust.
right. There'd be a right-hand,
Would be that.
there's a right-hand turn.
That's a left too.
Oh, yeah, Alexandria.
Alexandria.
Alexandria Drive, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexandria. Be
Okay.
So it's not Alexander, it's
Hmm.
the one before the crazy.
Yeah.
So they're gonna, and can I ask you why we're doing this?
Well, they did a camera inspection last spring, I think it was. So they cameraed all the lines to see if the lines were tight and if there any problems in the manholes. They did not locate any problems in the sewer main or manholes. We do see an increase of pump run times at the Deer Hollow pumping station. Typically that pump station runs 3/4 of an hour a day each pump. Right now with the rain we've been having, they're running 2 hours a day each pump. I'll tell you, it's not out of the ordinary. Pretty much every station does that when we have rain like this. A lot of times it's getting in from the covers. Not to say that there isn't sump pumps, there's people with sump pumps out there that tie into the sewer. And that's what this study would do for us. They would go door to door, see if they can have access, see where the sump pumps are going. My fear would be, how many people are gonna live in the house?
All of them.
Yeah.
Can't we do this internally?
We could possibly do this internally, go door to door, some other, my,
If we have to send somebody from the sewer
yeah,
department to make it official, that's what we do.
Yeah.
But they have to allow us to go in.
maybe they do, but I don't know how easily that would be.
Well, just remind them their line connects to our sewer. And that you have a pain in the ass chairman who says, if you don't cooperate us, we just disconnect your pipe, that's all.
Yeah.
The sewer belongs to us, not to them.
Right.
In the road, it's us.
One
I hate to
suggestion,
do that to people, but
yeah. One
if you-
suggestion I would have is, I think a lot of residents don't realize that putting the sump pump in is an illegal act. So I would like to send around an informational letter to those areas, telling them the problem that we're having.
okay, if they had a sump pump, it would be in the house and they wouldn't know it. It would have to, would they be able to go in and smoke the line to make sure it's coming up out of the,
Well, you smoke the line, it is gonna come out the vent pipe, right?
it has to
It
come
has to come out,
out.
even if there's a sump pump tied in, it's gonna come out.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
see? That's why I asked that, because they did that to us at the beach.
Yeah.
And they saw some smoke coming up from my neighbors on downspouts, and they said,
Right.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's another story, but what, in that particular case, the,
That's unbelievable.
the problem was, when they put the sewer in,
Yeah.
they actively pursued the two houses at the end of the street to put their downspouts in, because it was the beginning of a flat end of the line. They needed the hydraulic. Now they're going to take it out, and the manhole just fills right up. The cover bubbles a little bit, they gotta come in and they have to empty the manhole.
Because they're not getting that flushing effect.
Right. So I think we have a right to go in and check.
Yeah.
And if they're doing something illegal, if the town of Raynham says you cannot dump your sump pump water into the sewer, and they're doing it illegally, well, there are other ways we can get into the house to
Mm.
make sure. If we need to get a nice official letter. Cooperate, let us check,
Right.
help us out, because all it is taking a pipe and running out the window and letting it run out in the ground.
Right. So I don't know if you would want me to send this letter out, I drafted this letter, it's an informational letter for the residents over there.
That wastewater on this occurs at the wet season, mainly during the springtime. If you're going to investigate these issues throughout the past years, we have seen some of the work going on with the sewer lines and manholes inspected. Those inspections show no problems with the sewer mains or the manholes out there. Is that these incidents may likely be caused by basement sump pumps, French drains, or possible roof leaders, gutters, and downspouts tied to the sewer. Geez, that'd be pretty good if you could get a French drain that touched to the sewer. This is illegal and dangerous connection to many residents do not realize this is unwanted. Well, that's a nice informational letter, but you also have to the informational letter that
We might come
we're
back.
gonna send somebody out to check.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Do you want me to add that language?
Yeah, I mean, definitely let them know that somebody is coming.
Yep.
Now, they would be doing this in this fiscal year?
Yes, if you're talking about signing with AECon, yeah, they would,
Do we have,
done-
we have that covered in the operating budget?
I think so, I'd have to look at it a little closer, but I believe we would, 18,500.
Because I thought when, this is the result of phase two?
This was a result of phase two, correct?
Yeah, so that should be in the
Yeah.
budget, because when we laid it out,
Right.
I think, and he wants that kind of money, well, you can see him spending it. What's your recommendation?
I mean, I would like to send a letter out first and see if that gets us anywhere.
Well, what do you think the letter's gonna tell us?
I'm just hoping that the people don't realize that it's an illegal act to have that water and going into the sewer.
Okay, if you send that, and you notify them that our next step is to send somebody out
Mhm.
to do it,
Right.
what's the time window?
We probably won't realize the difference until the springtime, if they've disconnected. Once we get to this.
Well, they're not gonna go in and pull the plugs,
No. No.
okay?
They have to
If
reconnect.
everybody had one, and they did it voluntarily,
Right.
that's fine.
Mm.
But if we don't go back and check to be sure,
Right.
then we're not doing our job.
Mhm.
Because all of that extra rainwater, we're paying the city of Taunton to handle it.
Right.
Now, what do you feel, what's the commissioners feel like?
Well, like you say, if you're putting them on notice as far as that's concerned, so other than that, it seems to me that's about all you can do before you go in and make this connection.
I agree, send a letter, maybe put some stronger language in it. I don't know if sending it certified would have a stronger effect. I don't know if we want to spend that money, but it's only 56
Hmm.
homes, with language saying that we're gonna come inspect. Maybe we get some headway without spending the money on
Right.
this. To
Okay,
start with, I guess,
Yeah.
like you said, to double check.
I agree wholeheartedly that the cheapest way is to send a letter and tell them that, you know, but the fact of the matter is, they did the preliminary study, and they said the pipe isn't the problem, the manholes aren't really the problem.
Right.
It's what's coming in,
Mhm.
and the only way we can check that is either everybody get out on the same day and do it,
Mm.
and do nothing else, or you get somebody to go in and
Right.
chase it to know what they're looking for, so.
Right. And again, catching people at home too. I mean, if we go during the day, we may not catch.
Well, you know, that's one of the nice things about it, if you, as Joe says, if you send it certified, they have to sign that they got the letter.
Hmm.
And then they can say, well, I never got it. Okay,
No, I mean
here's my
catching
green
it home if
card.
we go do the inspection.
Here's my green card.
Or you know what, you send it certified and say, please call to schedule a time for an inspection.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have 56 people that call and we need to get an inspection set up, certified.
Right.
Just a suggestion.
Well, no, I mean, can you go in and tell whether it is? If we're only looking for sumps.
Right. We'd have to go down in the basement.
Yeah, but I mean, what if they've got it below grade with the downspouts and, as you indicated, French drains?
Right. The only way to determine that would be a smoke test. Smoke test will show a French drain typically.
Do we have the capability to do a smoke
We
test?
do have smoke test equipment.
Is that a very expensive thing to do?
Nope.
Okay.
We send around informational letters that we're gonna be smoke testing
Mhm.
on a certain day, notify the fire department, police department that would be in that area,
Mhm.
and start smoke testing. We just go manhole, you don't have to go manhole to manhole, you actually jump because the smoke goes
Yeah,
all the way down the road.
so that could be phase 2 of this project. First is internal, second is smoke.
Yep.
Or say in the letter, maybe we're gonna be doing 2 things.
Mm.
1 is smoke test, 2, internal
Right.
inspection.
Okay, if you feel the staff can handle it,
Yeah, I think we can,
instead of spending the money, that's fine. I do know that when we put the budgets together originally to do the I 3-year phasing, that we also included money to do the repairs if necessary.
Mm.
And if this is one of those things that can be handled internally, strengthen up the letter,
Yeah.
tell them that we need access to inspect your house, and tell them, you know, just explain it, that we have a problem, that we need your cooperation in fixing it.
Mhm.
And if they don't get you don't get the response, and the amount of money to send that letter to, how many?
56.
56, say it's $4 a piece, it's $224. Send it certified, return receipt. If we're gonna spend some money, that $200 is well spent.
Yeah.
Therefore, you know, everybody got the notice,
Right.
and they have a clock to notify us, so we can come in and inspect.
Yeah.
If someone does have this tied in this way, what are the ramifications? Can we entice them and say, there'll be no penalty if we find that it's in if you disconnect it?
Yeah, I would say we give them a warning and tell them to disconnect it, yeah.
It's, you probably didn't know that it was illegal.
Right.
Disconnect it, maybe entice them to make it a little
But then
easier.
you have to get some type of certification, Joe, that it is disconnected.
Okay.
You know, because yes, I'll do it, yeah.
Mhm.
And how many times has somebody said, yes, I'll do it,
Right.
and he's still waiting for it to be done?
Oh, well, we're gonna do the re-inspection, weren't we?
Yeah,
We'll have to do a reinspection.
Yeah, exactly.
okay,
And then,
fine, why don't we handle it that way? Strengthen the letter based on, you know, what Joe and Eddie
Yeah.
felt, and send it out certified,
Okay.
return receipt.
mhm.
Could be a health issue too, if they don't have it tied in properly.
Yeah,
Maybe you could be putting all those gases into their homes
good.
through the,
Without the vent.
yeah, if they didn't tie it,
Properly.
yeah.
Well, we're gonna be coming back into the sewer system.
Probably say they did the sump pump and they did and didn't have a proper plumber do it, cause,
Mm.
hey, my basement's dry, and they just put it without putting
Trap.
the trap. They could be
So yes,
putting sewer gas in their home and not even realize it.
Okay?
Yep.
Especially with the French drain.
Yeah,
Anything in the old business?
no old business,
No old business. Emergency business?
no emergency business.
Okay, commission reports. I gave my short report on the sewer construction when I was out there.
Mhm.
Public forum.
Ding,
We
ding,
have
ding.
a public forum
I,
contestant tonight.
oh, no.
Rob, did you press the button, by the way?
I did, yeah.
Okay, good.
Joe Aruda, 369 Church Street. I came in last year, almost pretty close to this time, it was around November, and requested that the board look at, I had gotten a double betterment on my home. And the way the stub had laid out, it was close to a piece of property that my dad was giving me to reconform it. I can show you the commission, the new plan. So I had that new plan certified. This line doesn't exist now because once the plan's at the registry of deed, this was just to show you guys what was added to my land. And the stub is here, which we today connected into that stub. We're running it down to connect into my home. Not that I'm gonna connect into my home right now, but I have a fence going up, so I just wanted to get it away.
You're on your side of the
Yes,
fence?
so I have, yes, it's right here, so my fence is on this line now.
Yeah,
The other stub, there was two stubs, one was put in my driveway, but it's close to a stone wall, and it's all, what we just talked about, it's all sand there, so I'm afraid if I go near, the stone walls end up
yeah.
in the trench. So we're doing the home to the,
For the second stub,
yes, which worked out very well, because it's out of the.
okay. So there was a stub here
There's a
in the
stub here.
driveway,
Yes.
and a stub there.
Yep.
There's not one there, is
No,
there?
that's my, I paid for that one already. That's my, another lot that I have, that I bought off my uncle because I didn't want anybody too close to me.
Because I remember when you came in.
Yep.
At the time, you didn't own that piece of land.
Correct, it wasn't, finished, like a lot of things that I do in life. I don't, this is the way it originally was when I came in to see you. That was the original,
Yeah.
so now it doesn't, now it exists, like this today.
This land here is all your dad's?
Yep, that's my dad's. Well, that was my dad's, the way it was, and now it's.
He's shooting a line down all the way
Yeah,
across,
he
so
shot
now you
straight down.
pick this up
This
to,
is mine, so this, basically from this line.
yeah,
this
you
one
got,
is-
you got a big block piece.
Yeah.
Right. Has that deed been recorded?
Yeah, oh yes, yeah, this has all been recorded. And I gave that to,
Have you combined these two?
they are combined, yes, that is just one lot, you can actually, they even put it in.
Well, I know you can't build down here, it's too
Right.
close to the river.
Right, well, it comes up and visits me every once in a while.
Well,
I think
it's
on
almost
its way-
there
It's on
now.
its way to visit us again.
Yeah. Well, if that in fact is a recorded document,
That is 100% recorded document. Yep. That is the way it stands at the registry of deeds. The town assessors office has that now. It just takes a little bit for everything to go through the channel. That's why I wasn't like come right back, because it took, I wanted to have the process through, but I did give all that stuff back.
that's funny
on
because
November.
your bond was just touching that piece of land that was your
Yes,
father's.
yeah, because my dad originally, we had talked about
Yeah,
it.
you owned the whole thing to
Whole thing
begin with.
Didn't matter. And then, I was pretty close.
I had another friend who's had a house that was on somebody's property.
Oh, it happens with us down there in that neck of the woods.
Well, Joey, if in fact that is a recorded deed, I'd have no qualms in doing that. And if there's some form or fashion that we can stuff that stub that is not going to be used, do it.
We
Okay?
can't, but we can't get in there because of the wall, correct?
Yeah, they have a plug, they've got a plug, yeah,
Okay.
it is
Yeah.
plugged.
Okay. Because there is, in the road, as long as you don't have to go into the road where they dig the hole
Yeah.
between the pavement and the property line type of thing, you can get to it. I'd have no problem just letting you pay for one, which is this one,
Yep, that's the one we're using.
instead of that one.
Yep.
So you haven't paid, yeah, see, when you came in, if you recall, you were looking for the abatement because you were asking for 6 or 8, 9 months before
That
you
was
were
all-
entitled to do it,
Yes,
because it was your dad.
yes,
And
100%.
we said,
Get
do
it
you
done.
own it? And you said, no, it's to my dad. I said, well, then, he's the one that's gotta come in.
Right,
For the
and
abatement.
then I went over with my dad and we had got the
Listen,
plan all drawn.
No
so-
problem.
Yeah.
You find the plan is, I'm willing
That
to
is
go for
from,
the
I think
abatement.
that is from the Registry of Deeds.
I can,
Right, if you go,
I'm on the Raynham site right now, if I can get on here.
Plan 512, page 41, received 9/28/17?
yeah, time's flying.
Hmm.
Yeah, 'cause when I was here, no,
Well,
because I came back with everything.
yeah, but I'm trying to remember when you were here.
I think you were originally here, my memory's going back from what Brenda looked at, it was like in March or something of 17. If I think.
Was that long ago?
It was the minutes that they gave you there, I think that's a March meeting.
Yeah, it could have been,
May
That was
of
May, okay,
17.
May.
It was before.
yeah,
Okay.
it was May.
Time really went through.
Yeah.
But if that is in fact, then we will abate and notify him that he has 2 on his house lot, but only 1 is usable.
Thank you. Is it on there now?
It just showed your house, is all it did on.
Oh, okay.
It just-
Yeah, I know
literally
that
just
is
the house,
definitely a recorded plan, I think the book of pages down there, so.
which was strange, because it 18-20-4,
Very ample.
Road Joseph.
See, it usually has,
See, that's odd that it's not showing anywhere, it just shows the
Plan
house.
book 512/41, you have one
But
of
that's
these?
Patriot Properties.
Do I have one of them? No.
I think I
Take a
gave one
copy
to,
of that,
I gave one to Brenda, but you can take another copy of that.
take a copy of that, and then just go through the process
Yeah,
of getting it done.
And then, and on a separate note, I wanted to, thank, Rob and the commission with, we had a little bit of an odor problem this summer from the new pump station, in that real hot weather. And of course, with the 4th of July coming, we're gonna have a party. I had called Rob probably a couple days before and said, is there something? And immediate response, and we were very, very happy with, accommodating a pump station in your yard. We played music at pump station, I think everybody was aware of that. And we picked a spot where I thought was the best to accommodate our neighbors too. And having that being said, and then having your backyard that you put a lot of money and effort into, being upset, it was a bad, and Rob handled it in the most instant way. I wanted to thank him publicly that, when you have a pump station, it's always a concern and you're gonna have bad odors. But with Rob being on the team here, and the response was immediate and it was perfect. We had it was unbelievable. So I want to thank him publicly because I think that's, Rob's a great asset to this department. And,
That's why we made him superintendent.
Good job, Rob.
100%.
I thought he was just another pretty face.
No, his dad taught him well. I gotta say, one of the nicest guys I've ever encountered himself, and Rob follows suit with a response. Because a lot of times you get in a position of that, and you can't fulfill all your obligations, but Rob's right on top of it. And just thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Joe.
It's it's nice to have that as a
Okay.
commission. You guys are very lucky.
Wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and
You also.
See you, Joe.
nice to
Thank you,
have
guys.
this all taken care of.
Yes, so is it, if I need to do anything else, or you'll talk to Mr. King, because I think he's the one that has to.
Yeah, there's a document that has to come through, and we sign it
Perfect.
for the abatement.
Guys, thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Thanks, Joe.
Take care.
Take care.
Hey, Joe.
Take it away.
Press time. Hello, America. There being none. Any comments other than that the chair talks too much, Mr.?
Nope, and you're gonna learn my name in the
Pickle?
next month. Perfect, thank you. Other than that, I think I'm good. I wrote down the dates of the Thursdays for Rob. I'll give it to him for 2019. A little less work for him.
Mm-hmm. And we're not like the selectmen, we don't take the month of July and August off. They do, they take a half a month off, everything there. To my 2 fellow commissioners at the pre-town meeting on Tuesday, the 3 articles that we had, actually 4 articles that we had, were discussed, and there doesn't seem to be any question about it.
Yeah, it's actually 3. One of them was a twofold, one's for the part, for the easement and the.
Well,
the
yeah,
postage
but you
fund.
had, the generator,
Generator,
the
yeah,
truck,
And the easements.
and the easements.
Yeah.
What was- Oh, the fourth one was the transfer to nowhere.
Right.
They published, the town warrant, and they left off the last line as to where you're supposed to put it,
Perfect.
you know? And,
Yeah.
Lovely.
yeah, but that's all right, they'll put it back on there, everything. If there be nothing else, we're gonna let you go push the button, but we
Yep.
will say, at 10 minutes of 7, I'll take a motion to adjourn for the purpose of signing bills and conducting normal business with no action being taken care of.
I'll second that motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bickle, second by Mr. Rosta. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Happy Thanksgiving
Happy
to all of
Thanksgiving.
you.